my name is Perica. I'm a co-founder of the 57 Hours platform. In very short, like 57 Hours is a global platform where you can find and book the best guided outdoor adventures. And we take pride in working with the best guides and the best smaller local companies. Thank you all for joining. This is our fourth epic adventure webinar, and we are turning into a series, so you can expect a lot more. But today we will enjoy one of the, in my personal favorite adventures that I've seen, one of the most beautiful images you will see. So Alberto Ojembarrena of Amarok Adventures will share his story of the truly hidden trails of the Icelandic Highlands. And you will see some things that even some Icelanders didn't see or don't know about. So enjoy. And one second. So Alberto is I forgot your credits, Alberto. Maybe you can help me with that. So you're an Iceland mountain guide.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're born in Spain and you've been living in Iceland for the last 6 years.
Exactly.
So what we'll see now is a presentation of Alberto. So he'll take us through his hidden trails presentation, and it will take about 40 minutes. After that, we will have some 20 minutes for Q&A. For the Q&A, you can submit your questions in the chat afterwards. You can also submit your questions in the form that is shared now in the chat. And all those questions will be answered. If we don't have time in the Q&A, we will answer it afterwards via email. And before giving the word to Alberto, one small announcement from 57 Hours. So usually we do some gear giveaways or something like that. Today we are doing something different. So we love this adventure so much that we decided to give everyone who is in the webinar a $200 discount by end of June to book this adventure with Alberto. Alberto will tell you more in his presentation and after, but he has dates open in August and September this year, and he also has dates for 2021. So stay with us to the end. You will get the promo code and everybody will get it in the email tomorrow. So if you're dreaming about Iceland, there is no better time than to do it now.
Exactly.
Alberto, the stage is yours. Amaze us.
Perfect. Thank you, Perica. So before starting, I have to say that we have reached 306 people live in the webinar.
Yes.
So yeah.
New record for 57 Hours. And thank you, Alberto, for this.
Yes. So hi, everyone. My name is Alberto. I'm going to be talking today about Iceland, as you know, specifically about the Icelandic Highland. That is one of the most remote and isolated places here in the island. Okay, okay, there you go. So I have my own adventure travel agency here in Iceland with my partner Monica called Amarok Adventures. We both, as Perica said, we are mountain and glacier guides. In my case, I do belong to the Association of Icelandic Mountain Guides that is built, as I said before, starting the presentation, that is built on the New Zealand Mountain Guide Association system, okay? And so because of this, I'm a certified mountain and glacier Icelandic guide. Monica, in her case, she's also belonged to the AMG, that would be the Association of Icelandic Mountain Guides, but also she belongs to the International Federation of Mountain Guides Association. That is also known in Europe as WIMLA, okay? So we were both born and raised in Spain, but we have been living in Iceland for the last years, okay? And actually, I have to say that here in Iceland, we have found the perfect place for develop ourselves as guides, just because of the nature that is amazing and because of the love of the Icelanders to the mountain glacier guides that we are working in here, okay? Also, I think I have to say that in my case, I've been guiding in Greenland and South America, okay? And currently I'm guiding also in Nepal, Faroe Islands, and of course, the Icelandic Highlands, okay? So what are we gonna be covering today in the webinar? We are gonna first talk a bit about Iceland, about like general facts. Okay, then we are going to move forward to the Laugavegur trail. That it would be the classic trail that everyone does when coming to Iceland. Okay, and then finally we will cover our alternate option, that is what we call the Heathen Trails. Okay, that would be like a combination between the Laugavegur trail with the most hidden gems or like the most spectacular places away from the crowds. Okay, and for ending the presentation, we will talk just a bit about logistics and how to come to Iceland, how to do this adventure happen, and a brief Q&A or a long Q&A, depends on how much do you want to ask. Okay, so do you see my screen correctly, right, Berta? Cool.
Yes, no worries. Just go
Fantastic.
on.
Okay.
It's your screen and your mouse.
Good. So, talking about Iceland, this is Iceland. Okay, this is where I'm right now, actually. So, right now I'm actually here at Reykjavik. We are located in the North Atlantic Ocean between Scandinavia and Greenland. And normally, we know this place as the island of ice and fire. And this is because Game of Thrones, that you may know. Actually, you may have heard about this TV series. But we are calling Iceland the island of ice and fire also because one thing. Iceland has a surface of about 103,000 square kilometers, more or less. So about the 11% of the island is completely covered by ice. Okay, and then we have 130 volcanoes, and from them 30 active volcanic systems. So we could say that actually Iceland is pretty alive, don't you think? So in here in this map, you can see different regions, right? I've just decided to mark them with the names of the main cities around the island, okay? So first of all, we would have Reykjavik in here. That would be the capital area, where about 1/3 of the population, between 1/3 and half of the entire population lives, okay? Then on the southwest of Reykjavik, we have the Reykjanes Peninsula. That is a place where you can find actually the Keflavik airport, the international airport for getting to Iceland, okay? Then if we move to the right, we would be covering the south coast of Iceland until Höfn. That it's this city on the right side of the image. And from Höfn to Egilsstaðir, we would be covering the east fjords of Iceland, okay? Then we have the north coast, then the western fjords with the Honstrandir Nature Reserve. That is pretty amazing also. Hopefully one day we will do a webinar about this. And then we have the Snæfellsnes Peninsula. That is known because Jules Verne got inspired in here for his novel, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Okay, and then we have the Highlands. So the Highlands actually seems to be quite small, but it's about 50,000 square kilometers of colorful mountains, volcanic desert, green cones, and savage glaciers. I mean, that's one of the most unreal places you would find in any country in the world. I mean, it's just amazing, you know? So about Reykjavik, as I said before, when you are arriving to Iceland, you are not arriving to Reykjavik itself. You are arriving to Keflavik International Airport. That is about 50 kilometers away, okay, from Reykjavik, but it's quite easy to get to the capital. So we do always recommend starting and ending your trip in Reykjavik, in the Icelandic capital. And here, what I always recommend is enjoying the public swimming pools that you can see in here in the presentation, right? So going to an Icelandic swimming pool is quite a unique experience all year round. Yeah, so some people, they think, no, I'm going just for summer. No, you can just go all the year round. And not only for swimming, because the swimming pools here in Iceland are an essential aspect of the Icelandic culture. And the swimming pool, we do believe actually that everyone is equal. This is the place where the people, we meet to openly discuss everything from, I don't know, weather to politics or economics or whatever, you know? So some people, they just go to the swimming pools just for joking, for meeting the people. In some places, this social place would be bars or pubs. Here in Iceland, we have pools. It's quite amazing. And for some people, quite crazy like me, I have to say, the best time for going to a swimming pool is actually during a rainstorm or even a blizzard. It's just fantastic. I mean, just feeling the cold outside, but being inside a pool with geothermal water with temperatures that could reach the 45 Celsius degrees. That's amazing. So normally we fill these swimming pools with this geothermal water. Of course, you can go to a cold pool. It would be something about 5 to 8 Celsius, but the normal or the regular one, the temperatures ranging from 38 Celsius to, as I said, 45, 46, depends on the pool. Okay. So more things I always recommend about Reykjavik. So first of all, I would say that going to one of the food courts, that would be this picture in here, in the Old Harbor, it's amazing. It's a really special thing that normally the people, they do not recommend. So this would be like a recommendation from a local guide or a local living in Reykjavik. Okay, so I always recommend coming here, especially if they are screening like musical contests like Eurovision. Here we have this passion that is something that you haven't seen in any other country of the world. Okay, just imagine a lot of people gathering around the TV like a big screen and shouting and saying, "You, this is gonna be awesome!" So that's fantastic. It's a really truly different experience. Okay, the second would be, of course, visiting Reykjavik, visiting the main monuments or the main places. But for example, visiting the Hallgrímskirkja church, that some people, they do believe it's a cathedral, but it is not. That's quite awesome too. I mean, I'm not a believer, I have to say, but the architecture, it's outstanding. Just from the outside and in the inside, it's amazing. It would remind us if we are hiking in the Highlands or just traveling around the island, and for those who have done this already, you would recognize the architecture of the columns in some places of the island. Okay, and also another place I love to go, or another thing I love to do is walking down the Old Town of Reykjavik and enjoy this neighborhood. It's just full of colorful houses, and well, this picture actually, it was taken yesterday evening because I didn't have any. So I really live nearby this place, and just imagine that I go every single day late in the evening, no matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's I don't know, a foggy day or whatever. I love to just walk a bit through these small alleys, and this small neighborhood is quite, I mean, inside a city, it's quite fantastic, and I'm not a city person. I do prefer, of course, being in the mountains, but this is just amazing. Okay, so this would be mostly about Reykjavik. Just remind that if you want to ask something about Reykjavik, you can just do it on the chat, and we will answer on the Q&A at the end of the presentation. Okay. Okay, so according to National Geographic, best trail in the world would be this, the Laugavegur trail. Actually, this is a classic trail, or the trail that everyone does when they want to hike in Iceland. Okay, so you can hike from beautiful orange mountains like this that are outstanding, okay, to amazing birch forest, crossing rivers, hiking deep canyons, enjoying, I don't know, some of the best visual landscapes that we would have in the entire planet. Okay, so the Laugavegur trail, or the classic trail that you can find in here, it's about 56 kilometers, around 35 miles, and I do always recommend doing it in 4 or 5 days. But I know people that they have done it in about 1 day, because we have this marathon race in here, so you can just run from Landmannalaugar, okay, that would be this, to Thórsmörk. Landmannalaugar is this landscape. Thórsmörk is a completely different one that we're going to see at the end of the presentation. But this is what you can expect of this trail. River crossing, amazing landscapes, getting close to some glacier, walking some, I don't know, black deserts. But don't worry that you are going to see all these pictures just a bit, okay? So we both, me and Monica, we have been guiding this trip for, I don't know, tons of times. And year after year, we have seen how this trail has become more and more and more popular. So we ask ourselves, what if there's, I don't know, something bigger, something even more epic? And actually, this is how the Heathen Trails was born. That is the hiking trip that we are gonna talk about today, okay? How are you doing, guys? I'm doing fast?
No, really good, really good. Really good. It's good presentation, good intro, and I think we're getting to the best parts now. So everybody, stay tuned.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, so we might say actually that the Heathen Trails is a longer trail or a less crowded trail, but that wouldn't be the main difference. What makes this trail completely unique is just one thing. You're going to be hiking alone in the most spectacular landscapes you can imagine. And when I say spectacular, I mean, I really mean to. Not only spectacular, we will discover some hidden gems, even unknown for locals, okay? So, I don't know, I have to say actually that you all are gonna apologize me because for the protection of these places, I cannot disclose most of the names in here. Okay, we have this kind of unwritten law for not disclosing some of the most hidden gems or the hidden places here in Iceland. So what's going on here? Okay, so as I said, Hidden Trails would be a bit longer, about 130 kilometers instead of the 56 kilometers. So we have changed some stages of the classical route, okay? So in here, for example, you would see Laugavegur, okay? On the old map that we saw before, there was a stage that took us up to this mountain hut that is just in here. So we said, okay, let's delete this and let's take a detour to Laugavegur, and from there just connecting to the last 3 stages of the Laugavegur trail. So we made it longer, we made it more epic, and I bet if National Geographic could hear about this, they would have changed their minds. Okay, so we're gonna get the best overviews from the Icelandic Highlands. We are gonna get the best overviews of the biggest glacier in Europe that is called the Vatnajökull Glacier. For example, for those who are passionate with geology, these are the rhyolite mountains. Okay, these orange and red ones that we are gonna find on the first stages of the trail are one of the best ones that we are gonna get. So for example, we are spending 2 days here in Laugavegur just for admiring and hiking these wonderful landscapes. But what is also quite important about this place is that we are not only be hiking this place, for example, but we are gonna be hiking, and for example, a 10 million year old green rocky mountain, like that one in the middle of the image, okay? In this case, so before I talk about this rhyolite mountains or mountains made of rhyolite, in this case, it would be like a silica rich glass with divalent iron and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. If you want me to speak about geology, I can do it, but I always prefer to do it on site because it's more amazing to see with your hands and to touch everything about this place. It's just amazing. And actually it's the only place discovered like this until now in Iceland. I mean, in other places, for example, in Greenland, you can find kind of a mountain quite similar to this one. But in this case, in Iceland, by now is one of the only ones like this, okay? So, yeah, this would be, for example, Laugavegur, this would be Laugavegur, and so as I said before, we're gonna be hiking alone, we're gonna be discovering places. For example, for you to understand, Laugavegur, these enormous lakes, it wasn't discovered until the 19th century. So it's pretty a new place discovered, and it's just an amazing place. I mean, just imagine walking or hiking in this landscape with black mountains, volcanic mountains, completely covered by this millennial Icelandic moss. So those who have been already in Iceland, you would recognize this kind of moss that we have protected. It's protected here in Iceland, and we are just following small trails. We are not following like big sticks, big trails full of sticks from one stick to another. We're just following a small path that we or the shepherds we made on the landscapes. Okay, and of course, I mean, in this area there are legends. It's full of legends everywhere. From the giants in Laugavegur, that is the place with the orange mountains, okay, to the petrified fighting trolls, these ones that we like to call them not trolls, we like to call them like the lava trees because of the structure they have. So just imagine this is close to one of the mountain huts that we have, including the trail where we are staying. So this volcanic trees or lava trees, don't matter how would you like to call them. It's just an amazing volcanic formation. So it's something that you couldn't even imagine that could happen, that could even exist, right?
Alberto, how high is this?
How high?
Yes.
Well, this one, the maximum ascent that we take is 460 meters high. But it's not actually too high. I mean, in this stage, for getting to this place, we are just going up and down, up and down. But the maximum height that we get when hiking in the Highlands, it's about 700 meters tall. So it's not such a huge height that we can get in here.
Okay. I actually was asking how high is this tree?
Sorry.
Tree. But all good. Useful information anyway.
This would be about 2 meters tall.
Cool. So it's a real small tree.
Yeah. Okay, so for getting to these places, for example, we are gonna need to cross to do some river crossings. Some people, they love to do it in barefoot. In my case, I can't. I mean, I always carry a pair of sandals on my backpack because I definitely can't walk in on a cold river with my barefoot. Monica, on the other side, she can't do it. I don't know how, but she can do it. She's laughing right now. So yeah, we would need to cross this kind of rivers because the path just cross from one side to the other, and in the middle we just find this cold glacial river. Okay, so for example, we are gonna pass from these rivers, from these cold rivers, to this volcanic desert, black deserts with green mountains that sometimes is like, what is this, you know? And we're gonna do this for getting to amazing places like this one that is called Eldgjá. And Eldgjá is also translated as the Fire Canyon. That is the biggest canyon, volcanic canyon, in the world. So it's an amazing scene. Just imagine, this was made because of a huge eruption. Okay, so we will go to the top of the canyon, and from there we are gonna descend to the bottom of the canyon for finding one of my favorite waterfalls here in Iceland, that is called Óvarufos. That it would be translated like the Impossible Waterfall. Okay, so it's just an amazing place. And I mean, in the old times, there used to be a bridge that was connecting both sides of the waterfall. It was like a rocky, natural bridge, and you can just go to the top, take some pictures, and it was amazing. You could see the water just flowing below you. But after a hard winter and a really rainy spring, that bridge was completely destroyed. Yeah, but now it's still a magnificent place. I mean, it's just amazing. This waterfall is, as I said, one of my favorites. Okay. And from here, we would hike to the next mountain hut that is called Hólaskjól. that would be like more actually the best prepared, or one of the best prepared mountain huts that we are gonna find during the trail. Okay, so we would be hiking all this canyon till we reach the mountain hut. The following day, for example, would be the shortest trail, the shortest stage, because it's going to be around 10 kilometers. And actually this one, we use it like for a bit more relaxing, enjoying landscape, because the following day we're going to be hiking like 23 kilometers more or less. So this day is quite relaxed, and we get to one of the places I love the most here in Iceland for recharging yourself. That is called Alftavot. So in here you can see a red roof, right? So during the whole trail we are going to be staying in a small mountain huts that are quite difficult to find unless you know the trail. This is because most of the route is based in old shepherd trails. And the good thing about this is that, for example, we are not just using like the main mountain huts from Laugavegur trail, that we are using a different ones that most of the people coming to Iceland, and even most of the Icelanders, they do not know about them. So it's pretty nice, you know? And what else? Yeah. So yeah, okay. So before joining the last stages of the Laugavegur trail, we will be able to reach one of the most amazing, or the most, I don't know how to say it, like impressive landscape I've ever been to. This is a volcano. It's completely covered by snow. This was in last September. That you can see in here on the sides, the perfect like veins from the volcano itself, right? So we, for example, we do not disclose, as I said, the names of these places or the secret places that we have. In this case, I've just decided to entitle this slide as the Ragnarök fires. So the Norse mythology, I don't know if there's someone that loves this kind of stories, but I do. I don't know why, I just love this. And so Norse mythology tells that the Ragnarök, the battle of the end of the world, was the fight between the gods and the giants, okay? So it is believed that the eruption of the volcanic systems that link the Katla volcano and the Elgja volcano, the one that created this big canyon that we saw before, it is believed that they have inspired, with its description, the Viking sagas, okay? So the Ragnarok would be inspired on this volcanic massive eruption for the Viking sagas. So because of this eruption, there's one landscape that looks like something out of a science fiction movie. So I'm gonna enable your faces because I want to see all your faces when I pass to the next slide. Let's see if I can. I would love to take a screenshot of this. But just imagine this. Oh, I see one guy saying, whoa.
I have to say, Alberto, I saw it yesterday and I'm like still amazing.
I mean, it's an amazing place. This one was also taken in September. Okay, so normally during the July and August, you cannot find this amount of snow on the top of the mountains, but in September, beginning of September, you can find that the snow start to pouring around. So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, this is truly amazing picture. And, you know, I would maybe stop here and tell you to, because I think we can enjoy this a bit more while you tell us maybe a bit more about the, you know, the ethics. So you said at the start that you don't really reveal names. So can you tell us a bit, is that something that you personally chose to do? Is that something that every guide in Iceland does? So just tell us a bit more about that.
Okay, so let's say that first we are talking here about non-touristic places, okay? So most of the touristic places here in Iceland are prepared for the tourists. And these places, places like this one, or the ones that we are visiting during these trails, they are not prepared. So we, the guys, we do have this unwritten law, okay? That is based in not reveal every hidden place to the foreigners. Why? I think it's going to be completely impossible if you go to social media and you find the profile of any mountain guide or Icelandic guide or whatever disclosing the name of one place like this. Okay, normally we talk about Skógafoss, that is one of the most popular, or Reynisfjara, that is the black sand beach. But places like this, we always try to keep them in secret. And so this actually, it has been quite criticized by some people, but we do actually have our reasons. So the first one would be the protection of the nature. Okay, so last year we have seen how the tourism in Iceland has increased like a lot. I mean, the first time I came to Iceland, just roaming around you were completely alone. Or if you were just hitchhiking, you may see some car picking you up. Now you can see cars everywhere. I mean, we have seen how the parking lots were filled with more buses than with cars, and how the camper vans, they have colonized everywhere. Okay, so yeah, I mean, the thing that most worry us is that the small groups have been almost changed by big groups, and I do believe it's our duty somehow as guides, and not only as guides, also as people, to protect nature and to teach about the preservation of this raw and wild nature to the foreigners. So, for example, a few years ago, we had an episode that actually was a bit crazy, and most of the Icelandic government was really mad about it. And there was a company that decided to bring about 100 people to doing the Laugavegur trail at the same time. So as you can understand, it's not the same 100 people walking the same area in just 1 week that just in one day. I mean, so after that, actually, that company was fined, and well, there were some consequences, of course. But and I have to say, it was an Icelandic company, so they were pretty upset because of this. So at the end, as I was saying, we have to protect the nature. And here in Iceland, we are lucky to have this amazing wild nature that has almost been untouched. And we really need to help each other to preserve this nature, because it's the only thing that is going to last for during the upcoming years, you know. And yeah, I said first it was about the protection of the nature, but also it would be about the protection of the people. It would be about safety. So most of these unknown places, they do not have a market trail for getting to them, or they are at the end, I don't know, of an gravel road with some rivers that you would need to cross by foot or even with your car. Okay, for example, there's one river called Krossá that is close to the valley of the thunder god, of the god of thunder. Sorry, that is called Thórsmörk. And this river, if you do not cross it properly, you can find holes of, I don't know, 1.5 meters, 2 meters deep. So a couple of years ago, there was a mortal accident in that river, and it was because some people, they saw a picture in the social media, and they said, okay, we want to go to Thórsmörk. They rented a 4x4, small 4x4, and they just went into the river. Unfortunately, it's I mean, there's a lot of people that they try to reach these places that could be dangerous, and not just for crossing a river, just for example, going to a waterfall. During the winter, you can find ice caps in the floor, and you can just slide and hit your knee or whatever. So we, well, fortunately or unfortunately, I would say that it's not easy to get to these hidden places. So by not disclosing the exact location, I do think that we avoid the people without equipment or knowledge to have accidents trying to get to these places. And I know that most of the people that we are working here in Iceland, we do think the same. First, protection of nature. Second, protection of the people. And I think this would be by far my answer about this question, you know.
Alberto, this is perfect, and it's really nice to hear that that this is also an unwritten rule. I have to say this great that you Icelandic guides have this respect, and I also have to say that 57 Hours supports this completely, and also supports the leave no trace policy in the States and elsewhere. Exactly. So thanks for sharing this secret image, and we can let's go on. With your show.
Before continuing, I would say that when I'm talking about Icelandic guides, I'm not talking just about guys that they were born in Iceland. I'm talking about all the guys. When you arrive to Iceland, you feel so much connected to this nature that you become like part of it. The other day, for example, I was just checking one video that the rangers they've done, and they said that the heart of a ranger ends at the moss, at the Icelandic moss. So you are completely connected to the nature. So this would be like a comparison also for the guys. We are connected to the nature. We can, I don't know, and somehow you can feel this energy flowing around, you know? But okay, let's continue. Yeah.
Great. Great. No. It's really great. I think it's good to share stories like this and your personal views on this, so it's great.
Okay, okay, there we go. So yeah, well, on the way to this place, for example, we are gonna be able to find some obsidian, for example, like this, lie on the floor. Here in Iceland, the obsidian is not like in other countries. We do not understand obsidian in Iceland as a precious stone. We understand it like just a stone. Okay, so in this case, this obsidian has, I think Filippo was his name, would agree with me that it has a different composition that the crystal or the glassy obsidians that we normally find in some stores, for example, or some jewelry. Okay, and we would find this kind of obsidian, but we would also find natural pools filled up with geothermal water, like this one. This one, for example, is just amazing. This one is a mix between warm and cold water. Is 1 hour away from one mountain hut where we are staying, and is the perfect place for relaxing after a long day of hiking. You know, for example, this geothermal natural pool is quite difficult to access. I mean, you need to reach one place in the Highlands by walking or by driving, and then hike on the completely opposite direction for getting to this place. That's amazing, just amazing. Okay, and well, from this place, that would be the Ragnarok fires, as I said before, we would just join, for ending the trip, the 3 last stages of the Laugavegur trail. That is the most famous or the classical route. So we would need to get to Alftavot, that is translated as the Swans Lake, and we would need to cross some black deserts like this one with the glaciers at the end. Fantastic volcanic mountains like this one. You can see how the black desert is just changing its landscape until it reaches this kind of green mountain completely covered by moss. Yeah, so this moss that you can see in the river is actually not color edited. It's real color. So it's just amazing. It's like here in Iceland we have a lot of kinds of moss, of Icelandic moss, and this one is one kind of moss that is like aquatic moss. It's just amazing. It's completely different to other kind of moss that we can find here in Iceland. And we find, for example, this kind of flowers, this pink and white flowers in the middle of a black desert. That's something that could be like completely surreal. I don't know. It's amazing. For me, it's just amazing. I love doing this. Also, for getting to the last stages, we would need, of course, to cross rivers. There are some rivers that are deeper, like this one, but are rivers that you would need to cross once again on barefoot or just by walking. So it's pretty amazing and cold, I have to say, once again. Okay, this would be the last desert before getting to Thórsmörk. That would be the valley of the thunder god, of the god of thunder, Thor, that you might know him from the Marvel movies on the cinemas. Okay, that would be this. Thórsmörk, just imagine, it's an oasis. You have been hiking for the last 10 days, I don't know, like black deserts, volcanic mountains, green cones, orange cones, cold rivers, and then you arrive to a place that is completely full with birch and willow forests. That's like, what? And then you can get, for me, one of the best views from Iceland, definitely. This is from the top of Valahnúkur. That is one of the closest mountains to the Laugavegur mountain hut. That is the place where we are staying. So we normally do this like a short trail in the evening, from where you can just get the best view. For me, that this would be the Eyjafjallajökull volcano, the volcano that erupted in 2010. Okay, and this is Monica, just always at the perfect spot for me to take a picture. I never appear, if you see in any picture, I'm never there. She's always there.
Well, you have a background in photography as well,
exactly.
Alberta, right? I think we are all thankful for that in this presentation.
Thank you. Okay, so this would be the Heathen Trails. So we normally end the last stage is to reach Thórsmörk. That would be this place. And when we arrive, we normally try always to do like a barbecue, like for ending the trip, okay? And the following day, we are just transferring the people to Reykjavik if they want to go to the capital city, or if they are flying back to their original country, we are just taking them straight to Keflavik airport. Okay, so this would be mostly about the Heathen Trails itinerary or the trip plan. What comes now, it's about logistics. I don't know if you want to say something about the trail or just go on, or you tell me.
Yeah, I think, Alberto, I think it's great to just continue this. This will be a perfect introduction to the Q&A, as we had actually a lot of questions that you will answer in the next few minutes. So people stay tuned. After this part, we'll go to live Q&A. We collected all your questions, and you'll have a chance to ask anything that is left unanswered after Alberto goes through his final slides.
Okay, so quick, really quick and really brief. We're going to talk about just logistics, okay? So talking about logistics that you might find interesting for making your trip possible or affordable or whatever you prefer to call it. Well, this would be the day by day of the Hidden Trails, of the trail I've just told you about. Okay, so as you can see, we walk between 10 kilometers per day, the shortest day, to 23. That would be this one. Okay, that is actually the longest day. And we walk between 5 to 7 hours each day from one hut to the following one. Okay. About the mountain huts, I told you before that the mountain huts are basic accommodation during the trip. Some of them, of course, are bigger because they do belong to the Laugavegur trail, to the classical route. Okay, but also if they are bigger, they have more people, like this ones I told you about. And the others, of course, are smaller with almost no one else than us. Some of them, for example, the smallest ones are the restored mountain huts from the shepherds. So they're completely different one from the others, okay? In the largest huts, there's both running water and water toilets. The toilets are always outside of the mountain huts. But in some of the smaller, the water needs to be drawn from the streams nearby for using it. And for example, there's one mountain hut that it doesn't have water itself. So you need to go outside for just picking some ice and put it on a cube and bring it inside. So it's quite different, quite amazing, also an experience, okay? Also, most of them have showers. but not all of them, because we're going to be in places that you will understand that it's completely impossible to make or to build some shower over there. Okay, and of course, as I said in this image, we're gonna need to share bedrooms, and we cook by ourselves, like in this kitchen, okay, that we have in here. In other mountain huts, for example, I don't know, in the Alps or in the Pyrenees, there's like a meal service. Not in here. But some people, they said, okay, so I need to carry the food during the trip on my backpack or what? So there's no need to worry, okay? There's no need to carry your food in the backpack during the whole trail. At the beginning of the summer, we used this vehicle in here to send some food boxes fill up with the non-perishable supplies for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And actually, this vehicle is the one that we use for bringing us inside the highlands and for taking us out from the highlands. So normally we got driving to Laugavegur on this car, and this car also came for us at Thórsmörk and bring us back to Reykjavik. Okay.
Alberto, you can also maybe tell to people, it's interesting to me, so you mentioned that you stay in the huts all the time. What about camping in Iceland?
Okay, so this is actually something good that you are asking, because I made a post in a website recently. So about camping in Iceland, most people, they think that camping here, it's just wild. I mean, that wild camping is allowed. It is not. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're hiking or if you're even with a camper van. Here in Iceland, we have really strict laws about camping, and especially about wild camping. I mean, if, for example, you are doing this hike, carrying your own tent and sleeping bag, then you got surprised by a huge storm, I don't know, rainy storm or snowstorm, you are gonna be allowed in some way to camp, but because it's for your own safety. That if you have good weather conditions, you are completely not allowed to sleep, to set up your tent in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so this is actually for the nature protection, and I'm just not talking about the flora. I'm also talking about the wildlife. So normally we try to keep the nature as raw or as pure as possible here in Iceland. Sure, camping wherever we want would be something that it would alter this nature. I don't know if I'm explaining myself. That at the end is completely forbidden to do wild camping or to sleep in a camper van or in a car, whatever you want. This law was changed some years ago. So before, like, I don't know if it was like 4 or 5 years ago, you could camp anywhere and you could just stop with your car anywhere and just go to set up your tent and sleep. Okay, now it's completely forbidden. You only can do it on special places or places designated for sleeping or setting up tents.
Cool, thanks. It's great to see. Great to hear that the Iceland is taking care of its nature with the tourism booming. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so as I was saying, well, this would be the vehicle. This would be us staying in the hut, blah, blah, blah. And for example, as I said before, we always try at the end of the trip to end with a barbecue, but we do it with local products, directly from local supermarkets, or if we can, of course, from local farmers. Okay, this kind of local produce would include vegetables, local fish. I especially like salmon and codfish, and the Icelandic lamb that it has been roaming free since the year 873. So it's an amazing lamb. It's something that you have never tasted before, definitely. Okay, weather. About the weather here in Iceland. Let's say we have this famous expression or common expression. If you do not like the weather, just wait 15 minutes. Or some people, they say 5 minutes. Some people, we like to say 15 minutes. it's quite funny, but actually is real. So when hiking in the Highlands, you can expect the 4 seasons in the same day. It could sound actually insane, but it's like this. I mean, it's for true. The Highlands in Iceland, they are located between 4 glaciers. Okay, it would be Langjökull, Hofsjökull, Vatnajökull, that would be the biggest one, and then Mýrdalsjökull in the south. So as the Highlands are in the middle of these 4 glaciers, we have our own weather, or micro weather, we would say, completely different to the rest of the island. So you actually can get this sunny day in the morning, and then when you are ascending to a peak, just get this snowstorm. Both are real images. I mean, for example, last year we were hiking from Thórsmörk to the top of a mountain for continuing a different trip. And when we were just getting to the top, there was a storm with ice, snow, sleet. Was completely awful. And we were just coming from a sunny day down in Thórsmörk. So the weather can change like this, super fast, super fast. So that's always when we are talking about the gear. Yeah, so gear. I always say you need to dress by layers, right? I mean, we all know, if we do like hiking, that we do not need to carry like a big coat and just hiking with that, because it's going to be completely useless after, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. So when we are dressing with layers and we come during the summer here to Iceland, we normally think, okay, just short t-shirts, short pants. But in here, you just keep in mind what I told you about the 4 seasons on the same day, okay? So talking just a bit about the gear, and we will just move forward. It's quite important that the sleeping bag, it has not to be like a super top minus 20 Celsius or something super specific or super technical, okay? In all the mountain huts, we do have geothermal heating, okay, coming from the warm water from inside the ground. And in some of them, or normally on the smaller ones, we have gas stoves for heating the whole hut. So yeah, what else? So the sleeping bag, yes, of course, the underwear, blah, blah, blah. I do recommend that, despite the gas, we do always have first aid kit. And we do have, of course, the knowledge for using them. I normally say, if you have something that you are gonna need, to just bring it and just tell us that you need that and where you have put, for example, those medicines. There are, for example, some people coming that they need to get this kind of shots because of the sugar. And we normally need to know where these shots are located on their backpacks. Okay, yeah. So sandal for river crossing, hiking sticks that they will help you to keep the balance inside the rivers. This actually is quite good, and on my case, because I'm not so well balanced inside the rivers. And mostly important, a bottle. I know I've put in there water, but this is because you do not need to buy water in Iceland. I mean, just bring in your own empty bottle. You can just fill it in any of the purest and clean waters. Sorry. With one of the purest ones, clean water coming directly from the glaciers. Okay. Yeah, in case you're head lantern, just in case you are coming at the end of the summer season, like September, because from May to almost mid-August, we have about 24 hours of daylight. Okay, so if you are coming from mid-August to September, that would be the time around September 15th, 16th, more or less. They are starting to close all the mountain huts. On that season, you would need to have your head lantern. Okay, so as an ex-warden from Landmannalaugar mountain hut, I'm gonna tell you what I tell everyone at the information point where I was. Hiking in the Highlands is not like other places in the world. I mean, there are people coming from all around the world to Iceland, and they think, I don't know, I've been hiking in the UK, I've been hiking in the Alps. Iceland is completely different. So extra safety always. So, I mean, it's better to have extra safety than to be unprepared for any situation that could happen. And I always, when I was attending people, I was always telling them, so just remember one thing, it's better to return early than too late. So that means that if you are hiking and you see, oh my God, there's a storm coming, just turn around. There's no need to have a really bad moment, okay? So last year, for example, we had to go on a search and rescue mission to try to find a hiker that was not listening to us when she came to the information point. So she decided that without the required equipment, like for example, boots, she was just using hiking, what's called hiking shoes, like regular hiking shoes, and with one really bad tent. She was carrying a GPS and a compass and a map, but she didn't know how to use them. She said, okay. I told her, please stay at the head. There's no need to risk. She decided not to hear us, and at the end, we had to go for trying to find her. Fortunately, we managed to find her on time because there was this huge storm. At the end, it was a snowstorm, actually. Okay, so another thing that I would recommend is notify the warden, of course, if you're gonna hike from one hut to the other one. So at least we can call the wardens to the other hut to notify that you are going that way. Okay, if there's not a warden, normally there's a ranger. And always bring telecommunication with you. That would mean phone and extra batteries, because on the mountain as you have no electricity at all. Okay, so there's no chance of recharging your phone. So forget about going on Instagram every day. And so that would be mostly everything about safety. But I always recommend, if you are hiking in the Highlands, just come with a guide. I mean, it's worth it. You're gonna get super local knowledge about geology, about I don't know, history, about legends, and you're gonna be safe because the mountain guides in here in Iceland, we are prepared. We need to take some courses. We take the wilderness first responder course by Knowles. We are bringing always the Tetra radio with us for communicating with rangers or with the mountain huts in case something happens. And we can assist you in any time, so you can just relax and enjoy the places. Okay, so this would be mostly about safety. What else I can miss? Natural pools, the best part of the trip with no doubt. Just imagine relaxing. You have been hiking the whole day, and then you arrive to the mountain hut. You find just nearby the mountain hut a geothermal pool where a cold river mixes with a warm water hot spring. Then you have this hot spring like the one on the left. You can see it. This one is in Landmannalaugar. It's like 2 minutes walking from the mountain hut, but there are other mountain huts like this that this hot pool is about 1 hour, more or less, 45 minutes, 1 hour walking from the mountain hut. So normally we have to hike in the evening to get this to this place. Okay, the Kup or Kuppur is one of my favorite actually Icelandic games for spend the evening if we arrive early to the mountain huts. It's also called the Viking Chess, and it's quite similar to the horseshoes game. Okay, so it's a long game. Enjoying this traditional game, holding a beer with all your team of hikers around you, a bonfire, everyone's laughing. It's quite an amazing experience that only can bring a a local guide can bring it to you on your trip. So it's quite magical and authentic, I would say. Okay, and finally, of course, the Northern Lights. Okay, so I know that some people they are just watching as they could be thinking, okay, but Northern Lights are only during the winter. No, that's what everyone thinks. Okay, and of course you're mistaken if you think that. Actually, the Northern Lights are a phenomenon that happens all the year round, but it's necessary to have 4 conditions. First one, to have darkness. Okay, so during the summertime, we have almost 24 hours of daylight. So of course, we are not getting so much darkness during the month of May, June, July, and part of August. Okay, but from the last week of August, we do have night hours, and the chances of seeing the Northern Lights, they do really increase. For example, last year we were we were at the what's called Alftavot mountain hut, and I was just cooking with Monica with the group, blah blah blah, and then we start a lot of people screaming out of the hut, and we said, "What has just happened?" So we ran outside of the hut. It was completely dark, and there was a green and purple, magnificent northern light in the sky. It was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, and all the mythology and all these stories around this natural lightning phenomenon are just amazing, and we spend really good times talking about this. So that would be the first condition, darkness. Second one would be to have solar activity, okay? Because the northern lights are created when these solar winds collide. We could say collide, yeah, collide with the magnetosphere. And third would be as less cloud cover as possible. As you can see in the image, there's no cloud cover. And finally, and the most important thing, patience. You need to wait. There's no an exact time that the northern lights are gonna appear. I know there are some guys saying, yeah, northern lights normally appear around 2 in the morning. No. I mean, I've seen the best northern light I've seen in my life. And I told you the other day, but it was when I was camping out in Greenland. And it was late August or beginning of September, I think. And I was just sleeping in my tent. So I decided to go out for a quick pee. And then I was just staring at the sky. It was full, completely green everywhere. It was amazing. And it lasts for, I don't know, 10 seconds, something like that, 5 seconds. So normally people, they say, yeah, they can only be in the sky for 2 minutes, 20 seconds. No, it can last for 20 seconds or 2 seconds to 20 minutes or 2 hours. It's unpredictable. Okay. So this would be like the things that you cannot definitely miss if you are coming to Iceland for hiking.
Cool. I think we are nearing the end. We did quite a bit of overtime, so we had a few people leave, but we still have over 200 people. So okay. I think it's time. I think you're done with slides, right? I think the Q&A is.
I mean, yes, the following one I think is. Yeah.
Yes, let's see. So we'll have some mercy for you. We actually have a lot of questions.
Okay.
We will try to answer all of them. For people who don't get their questions answered, Alberto will reach out to you in the following days, and you will also have the contacts of him so you can ask him. But maybe one thing that people are often interested is how fit do you need to be to take on this adventure?
Okay, so just think that you're going to be hiking for between 4 and 5 hours. From 4 to 7 hours per day. The longest day I think is between 7 and 8 actually. Do you need to be fit, like be a pro in the mountain? Of course not. Okay, but you do need to be prepared, and you do need to like hiking in the mountains. I mean, hiking in this place is not like hiking in a national park anywhere in the world. I mean, in those places, you're going to find some trails market trails or market path. But here in Iceland, you can just hike in a mountain that when you arrive to the top, you just find like a lava field, sharp lava field that will eat your boots instantly, and that you have to just step in the correct places for not to fall. So the terrain here in Iceland is completely different. You can hike in a just flat desert to up to a mountain where you're gonna find a glacier and you have to cross this glacier, or down to a lake and you are gonna find mud terrain, okay? So answering the question, you do need to be fit. You do not need to be a pro, but you really need to like hiking and enjoying this kind of nature and adventuring yourself in this kind of places that are like nothing else you're gonna find. I don't know if that answered the question more or less.
Well, if I understood you correctly, you need to be able to hike, as you said, like 5 hours per day,
exactly.
For 10 days in a row. And
exactly.
if people go with you, they don't have to worry about safety and everything. Exactly. But I think the important message here is that as well, if you are going to do some of these trips on your own, be prepared. Mm-hmm. Iceland is not as the rest of the world. So.
Exactly.
Moving on, people also ask like how big are the groups and when is the best season to go hiking Laugavegur and your Heathen Trails?
Okay, so our groups from Heathen Trails are minimum 7 people and maximum 13 people, okay? You need to understand that in here there's one guide, there are not like plenty of guides, and one driver, that is the one that is gonna take you to the highlands and back to the civilization. The best season, I mean, you can do Laugavegur from middle June or even beginning of July, depends on the year. I always recommend, if you're coming for the Heathen Trails, there are some places that we cannot actually access until middle of July. So normally I recommend middle of July, August. You can do it during August with no problem, and then just the first week of September.
Okay, great, thank you. And actually, I missed my intended first question. Okay. People asked in the start and during the presentation about the COVID situation in Iceland.
Yeah. Well, let's say if the measures that the government, the Icelandic government, has not failed. So if the measures that the Icelandic government has taken do not fail on the following month, from June 15th, anyone is going to be able to access to the country following 3 different steps. The first step would be if you take a COVID-19 test when you arrive to the airport. But if you look for this information, you will see that in most of the newspapers that have published this information, they say that the COVID-19 test is for free. It is not for free. It has a cost between 320 euros, more or less, would be like 50,000 Icelandic krona, okay? Then you have a second option that would be to take the test, how it's called. It's like a real certificate. No, it's real. Yeah, I don't know the name of this. It's a certificate that you need to get on your country, on your Ministry of Health, saying that you have not the virus. And it shouldn't be like 3 days old, more or less, but they are still trying to create this information. So we will know more on the following weeks, actually. And the third would be to stay 15 days on quarantine. But of course, there's no one wants to stay 15 days of quarantine on a trip in Iceland.
Thanks for addressing that. And we also had a question about possibly like children or teens joining the trip, and also people who are like retired, like maybe in their 60s or 70s. So maybe can you address those 2 points as well?
Yeah, of course. So talking about teens, I know there are a lot of teens that can do Laugavegur Trail or Heathen Trails because they are really fortunate that their parents, they have teach them to enjoy nature, of course. But by experience, we do not allow children with less of 16 years old to come to any of our trips, actually. I know this wouldn't apply for any teen or child. I know there are super kids that they love going hiking and they can even hike more kilometers than me. But by experience, we do recommend that they are gonna enjoy more the trip if they have 16 years or even a bit more. So 16 would be the minimum age.
And how about the maximum age then?
The maximum age, that is on you. We do not have a maximum age. I mean, when I was working in Greenland, I had this old Argentinian man from 92, I think he was, years old, that he was just chasing glaciers around the world. And he could hike better than most of the people that they used to come to those trips. So was amazing. That guy was amazing. I mean, at the end, there's no age, no maximum age for hiking one of these trips. At the end, the age is mostly here.
Cool. And then it's great. So if you're fit, age is not a limit, and that's great. Yeah. And then, so I think you mentioned group sizes, like 7 to 12 people, no more.
Exactly.
So we covered that, and then we have a person asking in general about like the huts. So how do you find information about the huts in Iceland? Is that public information? How do you know if somebody is there? What if it's full?
Okay.
And details on that.
Yeah. So let's say that because of the recent over tourism that we are having here in Iceland, most of the mountain huts that are related to the Laugavegur Trail, they are always completely full if you do not have a booking when getting to them. Okay, so it's essential for going to any hut to have a pre-booking to confirm that you have space, to pay in advance, of course, to the mountain huts, and yeah, so to enjoy, I mean, to contact. I would recommend contacting directly the mountain huts or the Mountain Tourism Association here in Iceland, that is called FE, Ferðafélag Íslands. It's quite easy to find. If you write on Google Mountain Huts Iceland, there's gonna be just one web page. Of course, we are not just using those mountain huts. We are using mountain huts from another private association that is called Utivist. That would be something like outdoors. That are the ones I told you before that were like restored from the old huts from the shepherds. I am seeing right now one question that say that if we can stay with your tent at the mountain huts. Yes, you can. Actually, around the mountain huts, you have this space prepared for camping. Okay, and actually you have camping facilities, and then the White Walkers. I like that one. So you have camping facilities, and then also you have the mountain hut facilities. So those who are camping, they cannot go on the mountain hut. Okay. So for example, if you are hiking, if you are camping, you can take a shower because the showers are common, but you cannot use the kitchen from inside the mountain huts.
And the huts, all the huts on the Heathen Trail have to be booked in advance. So everything has to be.
Yes. Okay. Yes, exactly. Normally, for example, we book them 1 year in advance. So actually, we have already booked the mountain huts for 2021.
Okay. And then we have a person asking about, well, basically, what happens when there are bad conditions Like how do you tackle that? And then, but bad weather conditions, and do you do refund? If, I mean, can the trip be canceled if there is bad conditions? And in that case, do you do refunds, and maybe tell a bit about that?
Okay, so let's think in a situation. Let's think that we are hiking in the middle of the mountains. In case, for example, there's like a huge storm coming and we cannot move, and we are in the mountain head. We are gonna stay on that mountain head. The good thing is that there's always a person in Reykjavik that could support the group in case they need it. Okay, so if they're, for example, in a mountain hut and they have to spend one entire day in the mountain hut, let's say that Monica, she's guiding the group and I'm waiting at Reykjavik for the group to arrive to the last mountain hut, I would drive to that mountain hut, would pick up all the people, and then I would drive them to the following mountain hut. If there's like a super hard condition of dangerous condition, I don't know, like a superstorm for 3 days, we would need to transfer the entire group to the equivalent mountain head. But if, for example, you're hiking and then you get surprised by the storm, that could happen, but it's quite difficult because with the guides, as I said before, we have this tetra radio, so we are always in contact with the other person in Reykjavik or in the south coast. So we do know how it's going to be the weather for the following hours. We do know if we need to depart earlier or whatever. So in case, for example, something happens in the middle, the guide first would call the other person outside of the highlands, okay? Then he or she would call using the tetra radio to the following mountain head, and then we have a really good relationship with the rangers in the highlands. So actually I can say it's more friendship than relationship. Just relationship is not, it's like friendship. And so we would call them to inform about our situation. And of course, if there's, I don't know, like a volcanic eruption or a flood or something like that, that could happen. Actually, let's say, I mean, we are living in, or we are hiking in an island that it has 30 volcanic active systems. Okay, so if this happens, we have protocols. For example, there is one protocol that if you are close to Amsterdam, that is the canyon, that is one of the last stages of the trail, and the Eyjafjallajökull volcano or the Katla volcano that are just together and really close to that part. If they both erupt, we would need to just go back to the previous mountain head, or at least to try to reach highest position. And you were asking about refund. Let's see. Of course, if we are hiking in the middle of the trip and we need to cancel, the good thing is that we are a small travel agency, so we are pretty flexible on everything. Okay. Something different would happen with the refund is, for example, that happened to us quite recently. Some people were coming, they decided to cancel because of fear of the COVID-19. Well, in this case, actually, we shouldn't have refunded all the entire quantity, but we have done it. So this is when I say we are flexible. We are a small travel agency. We are just made of guides, and we know the people that they are coming. That this is not just one day trip. It's a long trip that most of you have been dreaming about. So we want to do the things right. We want to do the things correctly. So I mean, we are completely always open-minded to this, and we could find a solution together, of course.
Cool. And at 57 hours, we also recommend trip insurance. You will get some recommendations with the booking as well. It's certainly something that is always valuable to buy, and especially in these times when the corona outbreak is there. If you do buy trip insurance, make sure that the COVID and corona and pandemic situations are covered. 57 hours will recommend some of the trip insurances that we can, and we are also working to partner with some of them so you can get them as a standard package. We have we are over time, but we have a few more questions, so we'll just go on with a few more, but we'll probably finish in a few minutes. One repeated question from more than a few people is about the backpack. So what is the weight of the backpack, and do you carry it from hut to hut? And if I would presume yes, but can you have it carried for you and all that stuff? So okay. Maybe you can touch on those points as well.
Okay, and my personal opinion, and I think Monica, she would agree with me, we are always using a 35 liters backpack, more or less, between 35 and 40 liters. There's no need to carry a lot of things. I mean, you just need to carry your spare clothes. You just need to carry, of course, a bottle of water and the layers for dressing correctly. I mean, for example, I'm seeing one question in here that Chris is asking: is there any recommended brands for hiking equipment and clothing? Depends on each of us. I mean, I normally use one brand for. I'm not going to advertise any mountain brand in here. So I normally use one brand for backpacks, and then I use just one brand for dressing myself. That I think both are pretty nice. But I'm pretty sure that any kind of brand is cool for everyone. I mean, there's no that's a really bad brand. Some people, they are coming to Iceland and they just buy new boots from, I don't know, let's say Scarpa or La Sportiva. There's no need to buy new equipment. There's no need to invest a lot of money. You are already investing money on this. Just taking out the
I forgot to put you in the full screen so people can see you. But so about backpacks, so no need to do any special gear or something. But you will carry around how much? 30 to 35 liter backpack is recommended. And we had I think 2 or 3 people ask, can you have it carried for you?
The what?
Can you have it carried for you? I mean, I know the answer already, but maybe you can tell people you have to carry your own backpack. Right?
Yes, you have. Yeah,
but you do take care of the food. The food is pre-placed in the mountain huts, and then it's waiting for you there.
Exactly. So, for example, normally I do not carry more than 8 to 10 kilos on my back when hiking, and I always try to keep it lighter because it's gonna be better for you all. Trust me. And so there's no need, of course, for carrying food or any kind of supplies, because we are gonna carry for yourself on the vehicle that we're gonna use. Okay, so there's no need for you to carry food or any kind of special equipment. You do not need. For example, some people ask us, do I need crampons or a rope or harnesses? No, you do not need that. You are just gonna be hiking for 10 to 12 days in the mountains, but you do not need any special equipment.
Perfect, thank you for this. And we actually have a question that I might answer. We have the price of the trail. So the 12 days of Heathen Trails, the cost is 2,550 euros.
Exactly.
Yes, and this translates to something around 2,800, I think $60 or $70. And all participants listening today will get the $200, which is roughly 150 euro discount that you can use to book this trip on 57hours.com. You have to pay 30% deposit to secure a spot, and then 2 months ahead of the trip, the full price. I think I got that one correctly, so maybe I can help you a little bit. I think we are close to ending this. Maybe one thing to mention is people are also asking about like the trails and following the trail. So are you following, like it's obvious the hidden trails, are you following the trail all the time? If not, how do you navigate? And then also in these remote places, how do you contact help if it's needed?
So in the Hidden Trails, most of the entire trail, of the entire trip, we are following on a specific trail. But in some stages of the trail, there's impossible to find the trail unless you know it. Okay, so the good thing is that we are local guides in Iceland. We do know the trails. We have done it several times, and in our case, for example, we have already tracked all this trail from one hat to another. So I have to say that here in Iceland, the landscape is changing all the time because of the cold weather during the winter. Just think that in the Highlands we could have, I don't know, 4 meters of snow during the winter time. So during the winter time, it's completely inaccessible. It's impossible to get into the Highlands. So this amount of snow changed completely the landscape from one year to the following year. That's why we always carry our GPS and map for oriented ourselves in the Heathen Trails. And as I said, there are some parts of the trail that we have to manage to find the route or the trail. Also, it's quite remarkable, or at least I have to say that, for example, here in Iceland, sometimes we do have really foggy days that you can just see, I don't know, like 1-2 meters in front of you. So no more. So that's why I always recommend, if you're hiking solo with no guide or without a group, always try to find these trails. For example, there's one website we use a lot. It's called wikiloc.com. I think most of the people, they have heard about this website. And this website, for example, you can find the Laugavegur trail tracks for your GPS. Okay, so always recommend using GPS when hiking in the Highlands.
Cool. So I think we are now like 30 minutes above the timeline, but we had people listening all the way through. Okay. I think we can conclude this now. So I left a link for everyone to submit the questions through our forum. If there are any unanswered questions, please submit them. We will answer it in the next few days. Also, thank you everyone for joining. It's been amazing. It's our biggest webinar with 327 people at some point, with some 10-20 more joining on Facebook. Thank you, Alberto, for a great presentation. Thank you for sharing us the glimpse of the secrets you are showing to your guests. We know that the trip is a bit expensive. We got that comments, but the trip includes everything. You come there, you don't have to worry about safety, you don't have to worry about food, you don't have to worry about finding your own way. You just have to arrive at Reykjavik, you'll get picked up, and you'll have 12 amazing days disconnected from the maybe mess of the city, if we might say, and connected with the most amazing and beautiful nature you can find, completely alone in a small group with our amazing coast, Alberta. I think I hope I summed it up well. So everyone, this is being recorded. You'll all get the link to the YouTubes tomorrow, probably in the afternoon. You'll get the coupon for the booking for those of you who want to join the trip. I think there are some dates in August and September, also 2021. Alberto, anything to say to the people still?
Well, I have to say that thank you, everyone. I didn't expect so many people in this webinar, and I'm really surprised, and I'm really happy of seeing you all. So I hope that at least some of we will meet in Iceland, maybe with me in a trip, maybe if not on the Highlands.
Great, great. We'll certainly take your word on that, and we hope to bring the 57 hours team on one of your trips, hopefully pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So again, everyone, really, really thank you. We enjoy doing these webinars, we enjoy the stories, and we enjoy seeing you all from all over the world joining this. We'll have the next webinar in 2 weeks' time, and we'll have a famous guy from Canada, Greg Hill, who has been all over the world, and he will tell us about the best powder skiing in Japan, America, France, Norway, and British Columbia. He has done it all, seen it all, and now he's going to share his secrets, skiing secrets with everyone. And he told me the secret today. He said there is good powder everywhere. Just go and have an adventure.
So cool. Nice.
Cool. Thanks, Alberto. Thanks, everyone. We'll end the meeting in a minute. Maybe, I don't know if you have the video from your, like, let's play the video and then finish off with that. I think you need to present again.
Yeah, let me see. So people, this would be what you could expect finding in the Highlands. Of course, you will see a glimpse of other trips that we do, also with cars and also during the winter time, okay? Oh, let's go, come on. There we go.
Yeah, we don't have the sound, but we can enjoy like the overview of these images. I also think this has been the longest webinar that kept, well, still above 100 people. So really good.
Yeah. So if you want guys to see this video on YouTube, you can just go there, type Amarok Adventures, you will hear it with sound that's completely different, without any kind of sound.
This is like a summary of the last hour and a half.
Really good. Yeah.
Really good, really good. All right, well, thanks Alberto again. Thanks Amarok Adventures. Thanks everyone for joining, and hope we inspired you to go out and have an adventure. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.